3 million motorhomes just hit the market today.
This is 8 News now.
Gas prices, as we know, averaging $5 a gallon across the country. Are those high prices affecting the sales of RVs?
And prices are in free fall. What sold for $120,000 last year is now going for under $20,000. Dealers are dumping inventory, banks are seizing loans, and nobody's explaining why. Lots are overflowing, auctions are collapsing, and owners are watching their equity disappear overnight. This isn't a discount, it's a disaster. But for cash buyers, it could be the deal of a lifetime. Here's how the market snapped, what caused it, and how you can protect yourself of buying crap. The market snaps. The motorhome market just broke wide open. In the past few months, more than 3 million motorhomes have flooded auctions, repossession lots, and factory refund yards across the United States. Units that sold for $120,000 last year now appear on dealer liquidation sheets for barely $20,000. Walk through any major auction in Indiana, Texas, or Arizona, and you'll see it for yourself. Rows of gleaming coaches with bright orange no sale tags because no one will meet the reserve. The numbers are staggering, but the silence from the industry is louder. Dealers call it an inventory correction, but insiders admit it's survival. Pandemic-era credit optimism collapsed under rising interest rates, leaving manufacturers drowning in oversupply. What once sold for $80,000 now struggles to reach $40,000. This isn't a dip, it's a structural reset. For owners, resale value is vanishing daily as unsold stock floods auctions, dragging private listings down with it. Every idle coach erases more equity from driveways nationwide. The question isn't how low prices can fall, it's how 3 million motorhomes ended up dumped into the market at once, rewriting the industry overnight. To find that answer, you have to drive east to the quiet fields of northern Indiana, where this entire glut was built from the ground up. The overbuild trap. In Elkhart County, Indiana, the birthplace of American motorhome manufacturing, the landscape tells the story better than any spreadsheet. Rows of brand new coaches sit under floodlights, their plastic still on the seats, tires sinking slowly into wet soil. During the lockdown years of 2020 and 2021, these factories ran 24 hours a day to feed the stay-at-home travel boom. The slogan was simple: everyone wants freedom on wheels. But that boom was a mirage. When restrictions lifted, reality hit. Rental fleets shrank, family orders vanished, but production never slowed. By late 2024, Elkhart storage yards overflowed with unsold motorhomes and laid-off workers. Lenders froze credit, trapping factories atop an inventory mountain too large for discounts to clear. Buyers lost trust, financing dried up, and depreciation surged. No warranty or trade-in can offset an oversupply this massive. The bubble, built on borrowed time, is bursting. But the deeper threat isn't on the lots. It's the financial strain quietly crushing every dealership beneath those idle wheels. To understand how this overbuild turned into a nationwide collapse, you need to look at the invisible debt behind each coach: the floor plan loans. If you've already spotted motorhome lots overflowing or prices crashing in your area, drop a comment below and tell us where. It helps others track the real fallout in real time. And if this breakdown hits home, hit like so more owners see it. Floor plan pressure. Every motorhome you see on a dealer's lot is borrowed money. It sits there on what's called floor plan credit, essentially a short-term loan tied to each unit until it sells. During the boom, that credit looked harmless. Interest rates hovered near zero, and turnover was fast. Now, each unsold coach is a debt clock that never stops ticking. Internal memos from regional lenders show payment extensions ending and demands for collateral updates arriving weekly. When a dealer misses a payment, the bank pulls the line, forcing an instant sell-off. Dealers across Ohio, Texas, and Florida describe the same nightmare: interest piling up faster than buyers appear. Some are slashing prices below cost just to stop the bleeding. Others quietly offload stock to wholesalers who flip it at auction. For the cautious buyer, this chaos can create genuine opportunity, but only if you move with precision, because desperation breeds deception, and some lots are now hiding their losses behind glossy clearance banners. The downward spiral of debt has left dealers gasping, but even that might have been manageable until new rules from California added an entirely different kind of pressure. What started as a financial crisis has now turned regulatory, and the fallout from one state's policy is rippling nationwide. Policy as trigger. In California, a wave of zero-emission mandates has rewritten how heavy vehicles, including large motorhomes, are certified and sold. The state's Air Board now requires updated emissions compliance for Class A and Class B platforms. changes that demand costly redesigns manufacturers weren't ready to fund. Instead of retooling, many builders rerouted their non-compliant stock out of state. Those shipments, tens of thousands strong, landed in secondary markets already drowning in inventory. Dealer records from Nevada and Arizona show California units rerouted since early 2025, sold as off-highway or pending compliance at record losses. A rule meant to clean air instead polluted prices. For buyers, it's bargains now. Uncertainty later. As regulations spread, dealers dump faster to survive, turning every mandate into another liquidation wave. Those forced dumps are no longer confined to the West Coast. They're echoing through every auction lane, setting the stage for what comes next. Organized panic. Auction truth. The real panic doesn't start on the sales floor. It starts inside the auction lanes. Rows of coaches that once sold for $80,000 now struggle to clear bids of $18,000. Auctioneers lower reserves each week, their screens flashing red as yet another unit goes unsold. Dealers who once fought for inventory now sit stone-faced, letting rigs roll past because their floor plan loans are already maxed out. The term used by analysts is inventory normalization. On the ground, it feels more like surrender. May auction data from Indiana and Arizona reveal the same collapse. Luxury diesel pushers once worth $90,000 now struggle to reach $25,000. Lenders force liquidation to salvage value. Each sale a bank surrender, not a buyer's victory. Still, verified paperwork and clean titles can yield genuine savings, often tens of thousands below dealer cost. But every true bargain hides a trap nearby. Some units, damaged or repossessed, were never fit to return to sale. Without deep inspection, one missed lien or false document can turn that dream purchase into a debt nightmare overnight. To see how that trap works, you only have to scroll a few listings deeper into the cheap seats, where the $5,000 miracles appear. The 5,000 Mirage. Search any surplus or government liquidation site right now and you'll find the same tease. Bright photos of late-model motorhomes listed for around $5,000. The captions promise ready to roll. The paint looks fresh and the price feels impossible. Some of these listings are genuine disposals from rental fleets or agencies clearing space, but many hide stories that would drain a savings account in days. Beneath that shine, flood-damaged frames, corroded brake lines, and mold-ridden insulation wait to surface. Technicians in Texas and Florida report hurricane-damaged units perfumed and resold inland as refurbished. Rot hides behind panels, invisible in photos. Tap the floor near the entry. If it crunches, walk. That sound means delamination, and repairs can exceed purchase cost. A $5,000 sticker isn't safety. Once registered, liability is yours. No dealer or insurer will rescue you from structural decay. Cheap listings lure buyers, but hidden costs trap them long after. And while photos disguise damage, the paperwork behind them hides even greater danger waiting in the fine print. Because once you move past the visible damage, you enter the shadow world of clean-looking titles that lie through omission. Paper lies. On paper, a clean title should mean a safe buy. In practice, it often means someone paid to make history disappear. Title washing is simple. A damaged or flood-ridden coach is transferred across state lines to a jurisdiction with softer disclosure rules, then reissued with no salvage mark. A single missing line of data can erase years of ownership and repair records. Dealers call it clerical alignment. Investigators call it fraud. An auction clerk in Georgia admitted processing over 300 washed titles in one season. Perfect on paper, but stripped of origin files. When insurers cross-check VINs, coverage vanishes, and $15,000 resales collapse overnight. Even spotless documents hide rot. The real proof lives in digital trails. And once titles survive scrutiny, hidden fees wait beneath the fine print. Because no matter how honest the paperwork appears, the final invoice can quietly turn a bargain into debt. Fee shock. The advertised price is never the final price. Hidden beneath every auction slip or dealer invoice lies a mountain of fees, each one slicing away at your supposed savings. Buyers' premiums can reach 10%. Documentation charges, reconditioning surcharges, and storage release fees pile on. Then comes transport, several hundred to several $1,000s depending on distance and weight. A $5,000 bid quickly balloons into $8,000 once the math settles. One Arizona buyer paid $400 just to collect paperwork. Another lost 3% to a processing fee. These hidden add-ons let dealers recoup profit as prices fall. Always demand written fee schedules and calculate real totals. The sticker discount means nothing. The refund wave triggered a far larger financial collapse, because behind every cheap unit and hidden fee is a story of customers demanding their money back. And that's where the real meltdown began. Refund rebellion. Between 2021 and 2024, the refund lines started forming quietly. Families showing up at dealerships with warranty papers, leaking roofs, and the same question, "Can I get my money back?" What began as scattered complaints turned into a full-scale revolt. Manufacturers that oversold their pandemic promises suddenly faced thousands of refund and buyback requests at once. Internal memos from two of the largest builders confirm it. Refund volumes tripled within 18 months. When the cash ran out, those same units, barely used, often with minor defects, were dumped straight into wholesale channels. Refund waves turned repossessed rigs into liquidation gold mines. Factories wrote off losses, so lenders accept almost any cash offer. 110,000 units now list near 25,000. But many rushed builds hide flaws beneath discounts. Smart buyers move carefully. Not every coach survived the storm. To separate the bargains from the money pits, you need to know which high-volume models took the biggest hit and why some are still worth saving. High-volume workhorses. Names like Springdale, J-Flight, and Wildwood fill nearly every auction roster. These were the pandemic-era workhorses, the dependable family rigs built in bulk to feed a demand spike that never lasted. Factories pushed them out by the tens of thousands, often using shared parts and identical layouts. That sameness is now their curse. With so many flooding the market, prices collapsed in unison. Dealers can't create scarcity when every lot in the Midwest has the same floor plan and trim package. Oversupply turned mass market models like Springdale and Wildwood into bargains with cheap, abundant parts, ideal for hands-on owners. But once warranties vanish, support does too. Dealers' margins collapse, leaving you alone. True profits hide in overlooked categories others dismiss, not in crowded lots of identical workhorses. Because while the crowds chase clearance tags, the contrarian buyer looks in the forgotten corners of the market. The small, simple survivors built before the frenzy began. If you've stayed this far, you're already ahead of the curve. Subscribe now and turn on notifications. The next market alert's coming fast. I'll show you exactly when the next price drop hits before dealers even admit it. Contrarian survivors. Foldable trailers, pop-ups, and hybrid expandables built before 2010 rarely make headlines, but they're becoming the quiet winners of this collapse. Many sell for under $5,000, and unlike their oversized cousins, they're simple enough to repair with basic tools. No complex slide-outs, no electronic leveling, no fragile luxury panels. When stored dry, these compact rigs age better than the touchscreen heavy models now littering auction yards. Trailmanor foldables, early Palomino Pumas, and late 2000s hybrids use durable aluminum frames and simple systems that outlast flashier models. Off social media and underpriced, they offer freedom without risk. Smart buyers restore and hold them, reselling for profit when seasonal demand inevitably rebounds. Because to catch the best of these underpriced survivors, you have to know exactly when and where the next buying window opens. Timing map. The liquidation market moves like clockwork. It starts each winter in the Midwest as frost forces storage yards to empty. Indiana, Ohio, and Michigan slash prices first to avoid heating and snow damage costs. By early March, those same units reappear online through surplus platforms and government resale portals. 2 weeks later, the wave hits the East Coast, where early spring brings impatient buyers back to lots. Then, by late May, the Sunbelt states see their turn as transport trucks haul leftovers south to warmer climates. Wait 30 days after Midwest clearances to save 15 to 20% as dealers chase quotas and storage costs rise. Track state auctions and transport routes to anticipate hidden discounts. Patience protects wallets. A well-timed buy saves thousands, but skipping inspection turns bargains into burdens fast. Because once you know when to buy, the next challenge is knowing how to check a motorhome fast before the dream turns into debt. The 30-minute inspection. Every smart purchase starts before the paperwork. The fastest way to protect your wallet is to give the motorhome a focused 30-minute inspection using only a flashlight, your senses, and patience. Start on the roof. Cracked sealant or uneven patches mean water has already found a path inside. Walk every corner and press the walls gently. Soft spots signal rot that spreads faster than rust. Step on the floor near the kitchen and bathroom. If it flexes or creaks, it's already compromised. Move under the rig and look for orange flake on weld seams or suspension mounts. Rust there is more than cosmetic, it's structure. Spray soapy water on propane joints. Bubbles mean leaks. Test every electrical system. Tripped breakers expose flood repairs. Listen for hidden drips or hums. 30 focused minutes today can save $5,000 tomorrow, but paperwork concealment still defeats even perfect inspections. Because the next layer of protection isn't physical, it's legal, and it lives inside the vehicle identification number stamped into the frame. VIN and title trapdoor. Every motorhome carries two identities, the number on its frame and the one on its title. When those two don't match, you're standing on a financial trapdoor. The first step is to find the metal stamped VIN near the hitch or driver's door. Wipe it clean and photograph it. Then compare it to the number printed on the title and registration card. Even one mismatched digit or a restamped character means walk away. Title washing hides damage by retitling across states, so always verify the VIN through national databases. Fresh titles on old coaches are red flags. Pay the small fee, confirm authenticity, and walk if anything feels off. Paper truth protects real money, because once you know the motorhome's identity is real, the next step is learning how to use cash and silence to win the negotiation. Cash leverage close. In a collapsing market, timing and patience buy more than charm ever will. Walk onto the lot with your financing or cash already secured. Print recent auction results for the same model and year, and keep them visible. When you make your offer, start 10% below your target and then stop talking. The silence will feel heavy, but it's your advantage. Dealers hate quiet. They fill it with discounts. If the seller stalls, walk away. Unsold stock bleeds cash daily, so most call back within 48 hours. Cash gives control. Silence builds leverage. Use patience, not persuasion, to win deals. But another threat already looms, ready to rewrite prices again. Because the next wave of disruption won't come from dealers or interest rates. It will come from technology and policy colliding. The next spiral. 2 years from now, the industry could face another dump, this time driven by electric motorhomes and new emission mandates. Several manufacturers have prototypes already in testing, promising zero-emission travel but carrying battery systems heavier and costlier than anything on the road. When regulators tighten again, traditional models may lose registration status in key states, and early electric versions will flood the market as range and charging issues surface. California's Air Resources Board's 2027 electrification push mirrors past mistakes, costs outpacing demand, inventory swelling, and auctions filling with unsold prototypes. For cautious buyers, the pattern is clear. Overproduction, refunds, and policy pressure always precede collapse. Learn it now, profit later. So stay patient, verify every detail, and keep your cash ready. The next drop isn't a rumor, it's already in motion, and now you'll see it coming long before everyone else does. This crash is just getting started, and the next wave could hit even harder. If you've seen prices drop in your area, drop a comment and tell us where. It helps everyone track what's really happening. Hit like if you found this useful, and subscribe so you don't miss the next market alert. Because the more you know, the better you'll play this game.